This is a really incredible time attack race car build.
Crazy cars, crazy moves, crazy news.
Man, you can get so fast.
You could drive it on a road trip.
Car shows especially.
No, this car has to be driven at speed.
In the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to drop a demo and get some of our community members in to start testing it.
It's about 400 horsepower.
We're going to be setting up DRVN Labo headquarters. You wouldn't want to do that if your car is under warranty, but if it's not, hey.
This is like time attack car that could enter into a show, you know?
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Money Shift podcast, episode number 31. And today we've got Josh from Revhard Motors, our co-founder, and Gary, as always, our community and marketing manager. And we're going to be going over the latest issue of the Daily Driven newsletter. We've got a really cool car that we want to share with you in there, as well as my recent move to Austin, Texas, which is why I'm in this empty, echoey room at the moment. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and let's go ahead and jump into episode number 31. We are joined by Josh and Gary, and yeah, you ready to talk about some crazy cars and crazy moves?
Crazy cars, crazy moves, crazy news. I don't know if you guys saw yesterday that the SEC and CFTC got together and basically said, hey, we got real categories of crypto now, and most of it's not a security. In fact, the only thing that is a security is the security that was security before. But again, these are all memos. We've heard this before.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like the direction, and I hope that we're going to get some more clarity soon, because that's really going to help us with what we're doing in the RWA space. So yeah, let's just keep getting some good news there, hopefully.
I like it.
Yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and dig into the Daily Driven issue number 113. And yeah, so the feature car in this is probably what we're going to be focusing on the most. This is a really incredible time attack race car build that I had the privilege of backing up into the Revhard Motors shop when I was there a few weeks ago. And I can tell just by the short amount that I drove it, that thing is an absolute beast. So I'll go ahead and pull it up. If Josh, you want to give us a little bit of information about this wild M3 that you got.
I would love to. Fitting to what we do, this is a community of people that we've just stumbled upon from meeting and owning the same cars. And the gentleman who built this car originally met through the R32 community when I first got my Skyline. And it was very apparent even then he was a very detail-oriented person. Alex, you've probably seen the big banner in the back of the shop with the R32 on it, the white one.
Yeah.
So that's when I first learned what OEM Plus was. And so he had taken a 32 that was never been in an auction. It was a military buddies, shipped over here super clean. And the engine bay on the thing was immaculate. And there's a video we have on our YouTube about it, but he calls it while I was in there syndrome. So I was going to do this. And then while I was in there, I did this and this and that. But he's just that kind of guy. He lives out in kind of like some area with some land and has like a shop and has like all the fun tools. You know, he does some like military contracting stuff too, I think, and makes like machines and weapons and shit. So used to making and doing for himself, but also has a very acute attention to detail. And so he originally started with this car as a E36 M3. This is an actual M3. So most people who would probably take a car to this level might start with a 318 or 325 or some kind of more simple base for the same chassis. But no, this is an actual M3. And, you know, it's a fun track car, time car, and it just progressed over time. And he wanted to drift it for a while, and then it just kind of evolved into this track car. He picked up a new skill of carbon molding, and you'll see that front splitter there. It's very time attack-esque. It's like, I don't know, this high off the ground. Those two metal rods you see next to the Euro plate, which is, I think, a Colorado plate number, just in Euro fashion. So if he ever does get flashed, it counts. But those are suspension, so it raises up and down. And then everything on that front clip of that bumper is easily detached and track ready just to pop off with no tools. And then all of the aero that you see on the car, that big wing in the back and the front, all that aero is chassis mounted. So in the back and the trunk, there's like two slits in the carbon that actually mount into the chassis. all the way around. I think it's like 325s, I want to say. And that's why the big wide fender wells. So it's square rear wheel drive with really wide wheels. And then inside's been fully gutted, race seats, but it's done in a way to where you can still take it on a road trip. There's still the window switches for the power windows. There's power locks, the gauge clusters there. I don't know if you can load it on the website and like toggle through the pictures, but the inside of it's still functional.
While you're talking about it.
But it's race car. And so he built it to where it not only has form and function, but you could drive it on a road trip if you wanted to. Under the hood is a aluminum block LS, and I think it's called a Vorschlag kit. I might be mispronouncing that, but the kit is kind of like what you would see like a wiring specialties kit for the Honda K-Series kids, right, into a chassis or something. The Vorschlag kit is someone who's done this swap enough times to make all the right stuff perfect. And so, yeah, it's naturally aspirated. It's about 400 horsepower, and everything on the car is pretty custom. It's an absolute rocket of a vehicle.
Let me know if you guys are seeing this.
Not yet. I mean, the platform itself to find a nice E36 M3 is pretty steep these days. And then to do that build, it's probably like $100,000 to do that if you commission somebody. And so it's actually a really good value too. I'm actually trying to figure out a way to keep it as the shop race car. You know, I could just vision like the driven Revhard livery on it. Tell us what you think, guys. Should we make this the race car?
Yeah. There's a couple of really cool cars at your shop that we were talking about trying to acquire for driven, one of which is, you know, this M3 to make it our time attack track car. And then you also have, I believe it's an Evo 6, if I'm not mistaken. That's all done up like rally style and, you know, turning that into our rally project. Oh, it's a 4. Okay.
Yeah, it's a full rally car. It's actually been in Japanese rally racing and has like the, you know, remember when we were like younger and we used to watch like Group B racing and there's like a dude in the passenger seat, right 90, left, there. Like it looks like that, dude, with the roll cage and shit. So yeah, that'd be a fun project. But this here, it's just every once in a while in this business, it's kind of like, you know, there's that whole, the drug dealer don't get high on your own supply, right? And sometimes there's things that just come through the shop. You're like, I really got to sell this. I wish I could just keep it. Because it's just so much.
Yeah, blast.
Like even if you commission someone to build you a race car, it's not going to have the detail that this, like this is like time attack car that could enter into a show, you know?
Yeah, there's so many little details on this thing. It's incredible.
But yeah, like you said, you can still drive. He drove it here, I don't know, like an hour and a half away on regular residential streets. I don't know, that's pretty risky with that splitter, but it made it.
Oh man, yeah, I would be so worried about catching that thing on a speed bump or a dip.
But yeah, you see the custom door, right? Like there's no
door cards.
Right. It's just, I don't know. I just want to keep it.
Yeah. Hey, maybe we find a way to, you know, get the community to fund it and bring it in as our race car.
Look at that diamond plated flooring, titanium seat bracket.
Like custom,
It's billet, bro.
Yeah, custom CNC brackets. Honestly, those seats are not very comfortable. I would not want to road trip in this thing.
No.
It would still be a lot of fun.
Well, it was designed for him and his wife to drive at the same time and have fun. The transmission, get what's in it too, is pretty gnarly. It has a 3.46 LSD rear diff, T56 6-speed.
Yeah, it felt like a dog box. You said it was straight cut gears, so really good for the track, not exactly good for the street.
No, this car has to be driven at speed, and if you drive it slow, it's actually horrible. I haven't driven it fast because I'm too scared to break it. That's why I want to have it so I could just drive it. But you know what, Alex? I'm kind of nervous if I did, like to go straight from Honda front wheel kid to like all the power rear wheel drive. I would probably mess this car up. All of my driving aggressive has been mostly front wheel drive cars, and the sensation of pulling through a corner and understanding those apexes of let off and pulls. The rear wheel drive is a different sensation entirely. And, you know, when you're sliding a car, it's okay because you can pull out of it. But if you're actually trying to race it and you're coming up and hitting that last break point, I'm sure it's a much different sensation from the rear. Yeah,
completely different style of driving between racing a front wheel drive car and a rear wheel drive car, especially one with a ton of power. So it's not for the faint of heart, but once you figure out where the edge is, man, you can get so fast with a car like this.
Tame the beast.
Yeah. So so what is this thing going for? What does he want for it? Let's see here.
35.
35. That's not bad. You said it would cost probably 100 grand to build this thing, right?
I mean, if you paid for someone to do it's labor, right? If you paid someone to custom make all those carbon canards and splitters and chassis mounted, like all the details. I mean, the kit's no slouch either. Yeah, it would be pretty penny to build this. I mean, it's a pretty good value for someone who wants to jump into a race car.
Yep.
That's why I want it so much too.
Yeah.
It's like, first of all, BMWs are known for being great platforms in general, right? Most of it's for 50-50 weight distribution. And actually, the motor in this car now with the LSV8 is lighter than the original. I think it's S54 motor that was in there. And this car weighs like maybe 1,800 pounds and it's balanced.
Wow.
So the chassis itself, if you're going to build a race car, is qualified check, right? And then to do this to it, I don't know. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah. Well, Phil said I would say it's definitely a 100K build. Yeah. All things considered, you get a shop to build this thing for you with all those custom bits. Yeah. So what was it? 35K or whatever? I think that's a steal. So
yeah, I think I'm bringing trailers similar like built E36 E36 platforms. I don't know if they were M3s, but somewhere in like the higher 20s. One was like maybe in around the 30 mark. But you know, at Revhard, I have a fiduciary responsibility to help our community try to achieve a full retail price. Obviously, we accept offers, but I do not feel any shame in asking $35,000 for this piece of art.
No, not at all. And you accept crypto. So, hey, if somebody's got some gains they want to put into something more fun than sitting in your wallet, it's a good way to spend it.
Yesterday's cheap Dogecoin is today's race car. We take it all.
Yeah, funny you mentioned that because Phil, who's hanging out here with us in the audience, he funded, I think it was his wife's truck project with his Dogecoin profits. So, hey, yeah, I mean, you gotta feed the addiction somehow.
I landscaped our whole house. You know, the lady wanted rocks in Dogecoin. Could have bought a whole bunch of houses if I just waited, but everyone has that story.
Live and learn. Yeah, nice. Well, yeah, I think this is an awesome car, and I always like to be able to showcase the really unique vehicles that you have available at the Revhard shop. So when I saw this thing land on the side, I was like, we definitely need to share this one out.
Shout out to you guys. I'm always impressed how these get integrated in the newsletter with the graphics and stuff. I don't know what prompts you're using or how this is made, but I don't want to like show the sausage being made, but I love how it's integrated, and it's just so like if you look at the graphic in the newsletter, it looks like the car. I really like that you guys put that attention to detail in there.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull that up again since we can go back to it. But yeah, I've kind of dialed in a bit of a formula for the newsletter that is consistent that I really like. So we always showcase the featured car from Revhard Motors. Sometimes it's not a Revhard Motors car, but most of the time it is in different ways throughout the newsletter. So just getting this pulled up.
And while you're doing that, you know, going through the specs, I'm seeing that there's quite a few things that, you know, it's included, but they haven't been installed yet. So, for example, the muffler, right? I think it's a 3-inch, right? Muffler? No.
The can that's on there is a resonator that looks, so it's kind of straight pipe, but from behind, if a cop pulls up on you, I don't know if I should say that out loud, but yeah, that's a muffler.
It's legal. It's totally legal.
It's 3-inch muffler.
Okay. Yeah, It says, you know, they haven't been installed yet. So I'm thinking, well, I don't know. I mean, I am seeing some, it looks pretty sick. You know,
there's a couple things that he has on the sidelines, but everything's pretty much on here. It does have some extra shit that comes with it, and everything isn't like hodgepodge, right? So if I was showing you those billet floor mat plates, those are like a company made those specifically for this car.
Yeah, I love seeing all those little custom bits that people put into their car to get it just the way they like. I've built a lot of really custom parts for my car, be it to solve a problem that nobody else has solved or to replace a part that is either insanely expensive or is out of production. So I will model and 3D print my own parts. I probably have 24 3D printed parts on my car. But
nice.
Yeah, here's some of the graphics that he was talking about that we like to incorporate. So we always have the featured car in this art illustration style for the cover image. Then we show the car in the listing, and then I factor it into the Buster Space Meditations, a little sort of philosophical lesson with each episode or each edition. So
the kit on it is Amelon Motorsports carbon fiber. So I don't know what's what. I know he made some of the stuff and some of it looks like it's all kit. So I maybe misquoted that earlier, but I mean, even if you just bought these parts, it's worth more than an E36.
Yeah.
When are we going to make the game and tie these cars into the game, Alex?
Yeah, I was actually just talking with our game developers this morning, and they're giving me a preview of the current progress on it. It's coming along pretty well. So hoping in the next couple of weeks we'll be able to drop a demo and get some of our community members in to start testing it. So it is on the way.
Yeah, because if I can't have that car in real life, I would like at least an NFT we can play.
Yeah, I'll make sure to add that one into the game.
Yes, and I call rights on NFT.
All right, cool.
Is that insider trading if I buy the NFT before anyone knows it's there?
I'll allow it. I'm not with SEC, but I'll allow it.
Sorry, this is a pre-purchase allocation.
Yeah, there'll be more than one. Don't you worry about it. But yeah, I'll just go ahead and say we won't go through the rest of the newsletter because this one is an open edition. So the entire issue is available to read without subscribing. We just hope that if you enjoy the content that you go ahead and subscribe to the newsletter. Every fourth issue that we put out is what we call an open edition. And so to get the rest of the newsletter, you'll need to subscribe, but it's free to subscribe. So no obligation, and I think you'll really enjoy it. But we cover everything from F1 news to games. We talk about the Warhammer 40,000 like sort of racing battle game. There's actually a bit of a theme throughout this whole newsletter. And then we've got another Web3 racing battle game that was recently announced from Nakamoto Games. And if my computer doesn't want to freeze, I don't know if you guys have seen any of the video of the new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift ride, Universal Studios Hollywood.
No.
They were building it when I was there with my daughter last year, and I was like, oh my God, I don't like going to LA, but I would come back for this.
Yeah.
Gary, are you going to go ride on the Fast and Furious ride?
Absolutely. Looking forward to it.
All right, man, we're gonna have to make you like some sort of wearable camera so we can actually get like the full experience. Are you a roller coaster guy?
Not really, even though I used to work at Six Flags when I was a teenager, but not not anymore. It's been a while.
All right.
But this
well,
was
you're going to
really
have
cool.
to be because make sure you get on that ride when it opens up. I think it's next month that it opens.
It was supposed to open during the summer of 2026, so I guess in 2 more months, but you just never know, sometimes they could, wait a little longer, or who knows, maybe there's a little, I guess they open before they actually announced the over the summer. So, I mean, it's going at, I think it's at, 70 miles? I'm seeing 70 miles per hour.
Yeah, it goes 72 miles an hour.
Well, okay. I mean, it's quite high.
And it's cool because they did like all of these like nice little nods to the Fast and Furious. So you can race in Paul Walker's GTR, the Dodge Challenger? Is it a Challenger or a Charger? I forget. Oh yeah, the NSX and a few others, but yeah, a bunch of cool little Fast and Furious references in there.
Yeah. Well, this looks really cool. I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah, definitely go and check out the newsletter if you want to see the full video there. I don't think my computer right now could handle me trying to stream this video at the same time, so I'm not even going to bother. But yeah, so that I guess that'll do it for the newsletter portion of it. I do want to talk a little bit about some of our future plans with, having just moved literally 3 days ago to Austin. And I didn't move out here just because, I was looking for a change of pace or better food options, which I'm going to get those too. But yeah, we're out here going to be setting up DRVN Labo headquarters and going to be trying to get in the next few months to Circuit of the Americas, where we will have the facility for our showroom, our office, and our community center where we can have events and have the DRVN Labo community come through and hang out. So if you are a Founders Club key holder, you'll get access to everything that we do at the facility in Austin. And then we are also planning on tokenizing that property once we finalize the purchase and everything. It will be an RWA as well. So the shareholders of the property at Coda are going to get the VIP treatment to come through anytime they want to, come to private parties or even just come hang out with us and, like treat it as your own little office away from home. But yeah, I mean, I've been here 3 days and I've already been really diving into the local tech and Web3 culture. Last night I went to a event that was hosted by Hydrex, who is going to be our LP partner and base. So Zach was there from the base community. And so it was really cool to hang out with them and start to connect a lot more with the local builder community out here, and come to find out that there's regular Web3 industry events every month. A ton of projects and companies have their headquarters here. So it makes a lot of sense for us to be establishing the Driven Labo brand here. And the other thing is, as I mentioned, COTA, we've got one of the best racetracks, in my opinion, one of the best racetracks in the world, but definitely one of the best ones in North America, just a few miles away from here. And this weekend, I'm going to be taking my S14 to a car show there to display it. So it'll be my first time getting it out to the Austin community and starting to share what we're doing at Driven Labo. So a lot of opportunities are going to be opening up for us by making this move. And honestly, I'm really excited to take full advantage of what this city has to offer.
That's cool. Are you going to go to any comedy shows?
Oh, yeah. I'm a huge stand-up comedy fan. Last time I was out here, I went with my wife and my friend Lynn to the Comedy Mothership, and we saw Joe Rogan, Tony Hinchcliffe, and Ron White, and it was amazing. So yeah, we'll be getting out to the city pretty often because there's no shortage of things to do.
With the debacle of your initial moving company going rogue, I'm happy that you made it safe and sound, and look forward to hearing on Monday that you got your shit and all the updates. Because, yeah, as he said, you go where the traction's at. And for us, it's kind of the perfect geographic spot where the tech and underground scene meet actual car culture through things like South by Southwest events where you're meeting Zach from Base to the Circuit of Americas where they have the GTR meeting every year. So, and then I get a sucker me to move out there. My daughter graduates this year. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I have not been shy about my, let's say, manipulation tactics to try and get you to move out here too. So yeah, I think, in my opinion, it's only a matter of time before we get a Revhard Motors Austin, and we can combine all of it into one amazing experience out here. I think Revhard would kill it. You have such a huge audience and customer base, and it's also kind of central to the U.S., so it's easy to ship the cars anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, right by Galveston.
And you've got the port right there. Yeah, exactly, right by Galveston. So one of the larger ports and it's one of your preferred ports to bring cars in from Japan, right?
Well, geographically, yes, but there's a lot of reasons why I bring them into Jacksonville from Florida. I like the idea of that. What are their emissions laws out there like?
So I was recently researching this for my car, and any vehicle that's over 21 years old is exempt from emissions I forget what the name of the county is here. That's how new I am. But yeah, as long as it's 21 years old, it doesn't need to go through smog.
They have like a state inspection out there, right?
I think it's just like a VIN inspection. And if it's newer than 21 years, then you have to get it smogged every year.
Gotcha. I don't know if it was like county or state, but I remember I sold a Celica GT4 to a guy in Texas, and the axle didn't pass inspection. I've had to buy a new one from Russia. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's by county. Each county is different here. So I think I'm fortunate that I won't have to jump through too many hoops here, even though my car is registered in Wyoming. Yeah, definitely. And I'll go ahead and throw this one up on screen. Been talking with our community member and collaborator Phil over at Belleville Body Shop, and he is looking at moving out this way in the next couple of years too. And if that's the case, then it looks like we'll have all of the pieces that we need to have our showroom, our dealership, and our speed shop where we're going to build some amazing cars, because Phil is definitely the guy to work with on that. So yeah, it'll all come together in the next couple of years with everybody here. We just need to get you, Gary. We need to get you out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, something that we have brought up internally, something to like on my end, right? Been looking where to go. We need to move out of California. Although there's some really cool car shows here in California, actually.
This is true.
But yeah, really some really cool communities as well, but car shows especially. But yeah, definitely the closer to, headquarters, the better. But absolutely, one thing that I was thinking about, isn't there an observation tower there for the track for Coda? I recall seeing
Oh
something.
yeah. They have this massive tower. It kind of looks like, what is that dinosaur with the long neck? It looks like a skeleton.
Stegosaurus, Brontosaurus.
I wanted to say Brontosaurus, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. I don't know my dinosaurs. And yeah, but that thing is awesome. It's like, I haven't been to the top of it, but it looks kind of freaky because it's really high up and it's really sort of this slender construction. But I'll definitely be trying to make it out and get some shots next time I'm out there. I'm curious if when I go on Sunday, if they'll have that open, because I'm not entirely sure where on the grounds of Coda they're going to have the car show. And I got a ticket specifically to bring my car in to feature there. I know that they do some car shows directly on the track, so you'll have cars parked all over the track, and you just walk the track. So that should be pretty cool.
You're bringing the DJI, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Gonna get a lot of content.
No, I'm looking forward
Next,
to
I
it.
need to get a drone, because there's just footage that you can't get any other way than with a drone. And so that'll be my next big purchase.
Yeah, I want to get one of those drones where you can tie it to you and it just follows behind you. So you can just be driving and the car follows you.
Yeah, that's the way to go for sure.
If you can do rollers with just yourself, right? It's like, hey, Cloudbot, program to do these shots, and then I'm driving, and then it does it.
Yeah, totally. It's funny. I actually was telling some of the guys last night because I brought my car to the Hydrex and Base event, and so some of them wanted to see the car after it was done, and we were showing it off. And I built a digital dash that uses a Raspberry Pi that connects to my standalone ECU. And in my spare time, the last couple of weeks, I've been researching how I can soup up the Raspberry Pi so I can run OpenClaw on it, and then
make kit.
Yeah, and so what it would be like an agent that I can talk to, but also its primary purpose would be to data log every single time I drive the car, and then after I park, it just stays and analyzes the data and dials in the tune. So every single time I drive the car, the tune just keeps getting better.
A self-tuning agent, bro?
Yep.
Fun.
Yeah. So I think I've got everything down that I need to build my version of kit. I'm likely just going to call it Buster, just because why not?
Buster, what's the boost temperature?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, Buster.
That was a joke. Boost temperature.
Like literally, I just got that. Well, I mean, it would be the intake air temperature, so technically yes. But yeah, I mean, I could just be like, hey, let's dial up the boost to 30 psi and just let it rip.
Warning, Alex, you are a fail class of losing cylinder 4 if we make this modification.
Exactly.
Shut up, robot, do it.
Yeah. Now, where did this idea came from? Was it something that just, you thought about on the way to drive from Reno to Austin, or is that something you had already in mind of,
It's been something I've been thinking about for probably about 6 months since I really started getting into AI. It was like, or particularly more of the agentic side of things, is like, oh, there's got to be a way that I can run this on my Raspberry Pi, my computer, and come to find out that they make different add-ons to the Raspberry Pi to optimize it for local LLMs, for faster read-write speed to like an NVMe, hard drive. I can set up all sorts of sensors to it. And one of the other things that I want to do is, Josh, you're familiar with the TN suspension EDFC, right? So it's so you put these little servos on your dampers.
While you're driving too? What?
Yeah. So what I would do is I would write a Python script that then controls the dampers. And then I can even set up a board that's like GPS and accelerometer. So as it's measuring that I'm like hard cornering, it would instantaneously add more or stiffen the dampening on that corner that I'm loading up. So yeah, I think if nothing else, it'll make for some really fun videos of how to, fully AI kit out my car.
Yeah, your car's gonna be on the internet. That's nuts, dude. That makes you wonder what the F1 teams are doing. If you're just doing that with a Raspberry Pi and some auto dampeners, like, like what
Oh
are they
yeah.
doing?
Yeah, the main bottleneck is going to be it'll have to use a combination of a very lightweight local LLM just to handle like basic things. And then I already have it set to connect automatically. Anytime I start my car, my phone's Wi-Fi hotspot turns on and it automatically connects to my phone. So then from there, it would be able to connect to like a cloud LLM to process more difficult, I guess, processes. So
That's nuts, dude. Most people
I've
don't
thought
want to
this
buy
whole
a
thing
new
through.
car because they're worried about all the computers, and you just took the old car and did all that.
Yeah. And the cool part is you hop in my car and it like nothing about it seems like it's super modernized. It feels very 90s. Like I even have
Right.
left in a very 90s style, what do you call it? A head unit. So, nothing flashy. It's very retro. And then the dash on the screen, I actually created custom gauges that look exactly like the R34 GTR digital dash. What do they call that thing again?
Oh, the MFD multifunction
Yeah, the
display.
MFD. Yeah, exactly. So it's modeled after the GTR MFD. And so it feels very standard to the vehicle, but in the back end, thing's going to be running AI and, auto tuning. It'll be able to adjust my suspension dampening and just have a little buddy to talk to while I'm driving.
That's wild, dude. We're such
Oh,
a
nice. So it's gonna be interactive then.
Oh yeah, totally. I'll probably do like a little screen somewhere. They make these little like 1 3/4 inch screens, OLED
Mhm.
screens that I can put somewhere discreet. And that'll be, I want to do like a little face on there. So it's almost like, kind of gives it the AI personality. So as I'm talking to it, or as it's, replying to me, it's got this little interactive face talking back to me.
that's a slippery slope. That's interesting.
Yeah, but it'll make for some fun content. I've got all of the parts I needed loaded up in my shopping carts online. So I just need to pull the trigger and get that party started.
It's hard enough to sell a car as it is when you're attached to this long of a project, but like now that you're actually talking and communicating to it, it's probably gonna be a lot harder to even like it's gonna be like your buddy. That's wild.
Yeah. Well, I have no plans of ever selling the car, so that's totally fine with me. But part of my hope in being able to build this is having something that we can offer to other people to do these custom like AI integrations into their vintage car.
Wild shit.
Yeah, we could
Well,
productize it.
they can join us over there at Coda and actually get that done over there at the facility. That'll be awesome too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's really, really cool as far as what you're doing. And that's something that actually ties up really great on, what we're building as well, right? Just bringing not only car culture, but I mean, just a different aspect of so much what can come on chain, right? As well, just, all this data, I guess, data points for, older vehicles and, these investment grade vehicles. Man, that's awesome. It's awesome. So
Yeah.
where are you storing, real quick, just, I guess, is it just your car at the moment or are you going to be, attaching it also to the other car?
To the Ferrari?
Well, not yet. Well, I guess, yeah, the Ferrari, but also the one that I believe it was, what is it? The Toyota? The one you were driving? That was.
Oh yeah, our Toyota 4Runner. Yeah, I don't know. We could probably set it up so it would just easily plug into the OBD2 port and do a lot of the same things that way. Mine is much more of a custom build with a standalone ECU. But yeah, I'm sure there are some ways that we can build it for any number of vehicles or applications. But what I really want to do eventually is, because we're looking at building some various AI components into the Driven Vehicles app. And eventually what I want to do is basically have this system that we can offer where they connect it to the Driven Vehicles app. And now it's starting to like collect all of the data and like you can basically talk with your car offline. It's always running in your car. And you can just be like, what's my current gas mileage or what's my tire pressure at or whatever from anywhere. And yeah, just have it all be connected through the app.
I hear you. Yeah, actually, Phil, as we're, explaining, I guess, diving more in depth, Phil is asking if he can get one for one of his project, which is be pretty cool, actually. I know he has certain projects at hand at the moment. So Yeah, that would be really cool actually to see, one of our community members also have something like this and see where this ends up.
Yeah, once I've got it built, I'll know exactly when it needs to be done, and I can probably do it for just about anybody.
Keep track of lap times and tell you where to drive better. It's like a driving coach.
Oh yeah, totally. There are already, I forget the name of it. It's like a race box or something like that. My dad just bought one for his AMG, and it basically just uses GPS and accelerometer, and you can track lap times with it. But same thing with this. There's just a little chip that's honestly like 2 inches long that you can connect to the Raspberry Pi that has GPS and accelerometer in it. And then, yeah, track lap times, even set up computer vision. So a camera is like watching your line and could maybe give you feedback like, oh, you broke a little bit late there, or you missed the apex, or whatever it happens to be. The hard part is going to be just making sure that the Pi has enough juice to be able to handle all of that.
What does it use for a processor?
The Raspberry Pi 5, I forget what the processor is. It's
Is
not
it memory
mega
that's the
powerful. It's a combination of so it doesn't use a GPU. It's strictly CPU. So that's the bottleneck. And then also standard, it uses a micro SD card for memory, but they have NVMe add-ons. So you can run up to like 6 terabytes in something the size of a credit card just connected to it. And they're super fast read-write speed. So the one difficulty is going to be anything GPU related. But from what I understand, the AI hat is what they call it, that you can add to it, processes like computer vision and the LLMs a lot faster than just the CPU on the Pi 5.
The crazy thing I said about this is like people import cars from Japan all the time and they're like, well, now I want to tune it, but it's on a factory ECU and you can't tune a factory ECU, right? But if you built a hardware box on a Raspberry Pi that was basically a piggyback and then wrote OpenClaw to go learn the ECU and rewrite it, couldn't you like use AI to like basically make some magic box any car's ECU upgrade?
Conceivably, yeah.
Jailbreak your ECU?
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that if your car's under warranty, but if it's not, hey.
No, I'm talking like you have like a 95 Nissan Skyline, right? You have a factory ECU. Couldn't you just, hey, make this like the HKS FCon. Hey, make this like this. Hey, do that. Like the video game emulators, right? You can hijack anything.
Definitely. We've been chatting for about 48 minutes, and my computer is struggling. You can't tell by how choppy I am. So, yeah, it was a fun conversation, though, and I'm looking forward to getting back into the swing of putting out a new episode every week. Hopefully by next week, I'll have my full, computer and camera set up again, so we won't have any of these issues that we've had today. So thanks to everybody who joined us. I know we've mentioned Phil quite a few times, but he's been chatting up a storm in the comments, and everybody else who's joined us today. I really appreciate it.
I just, I'm always amazed where you think things are going to go and then where they do go, and just from East Denver to now, and you move into Austin and just the path of things. I'm just really excited to see what happens next. Weather's warming up. I want to see the footage from your car show, get the layout of that. I don't know. I guess the closing words I have is just I'm ready for springtime, ready for the new wave of opportunity. And I think with everything going on around us, I think we're in for an exciting rest of the year.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm really excited for what's to come. Doesn't matter what the markets are doing. We're here building. We're here bringing the car culture into Web3 and bringing the Web3 community with us for the ride into the automotive world. So definitely stay tuned for all the amazing stuff that we've got planned over the coming weeks, months, and years. But Gary, you have anything you want to shout out before we call it a day?
Yeah, first of all, I want to give a shout out to all the community members who are here at Stronghold. He really loved that the car we just covered over at Revhard Motors. Make sure you follow Revhard Motors also on Instagram. I think that's the where you can get a little bit more of a variety of all the cars that they have available. So make sure you follow Revhard Motors over in Instagram. Follow us also with all of our links are actually in our bio. So make sure you follow all the links, subscribe to the newsletter just to, follow along with us when we dive into the newsletter on every episode of the Money Shift podcast every Wednesday, 11 a.m. PST, I guess a new time zone for Rex as well. So yeah, and excited that, Josh mentioned that for, second quarter and also for the rest of the year, first quarter was great, but second quarter and the rest of the year is new steps. That is, it's exciting to what we're doing here. So yeah. And with that, I guess I'll give it back to you, Rex.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we'll see you back here next Wednesday for the next episode of the Money Shift podcast. We also have issue number 114 of the Daily Driven newsletter coming out this Friday. So make sure you go and subscribe. And that'll do it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll check you next week. Oh, and catch us on Friday on X for our Builder Burnout Space.
The tipping point is near.
It is. Yes, the momentum is building. All right, guys. Well, we'll catch you later, and have a good one.